We're back. The Skolcial network is back. We're not
Skull.
sculling.
Oh,
I guess we could skull. I mean, we've been gone since we lost. We didn't have much to talk about. We didn't want to do a whole episode how we lost our young protege offensive king Grant, but we get to keep Brian Flores apparently because unless he just makes a lateral move, he's not going anywhere. So that's all good news. Brev, glad to see you're still rocking the beanie. I'm sure it's cold. I've cut the Vikings won 14 games playoff hype mop off my head. I look like somewhat of an adult again. You still look sexy
yeah.
as ever.
I think last time we recorded was the Rams game, and it had just snowed. It just snowed here. I get like it's been snowing just all winter long here, so a little cold. But can we call today the start of season 2 of the Scotial Network?
I think we could.
Yeah,
Technically it's March. We're a month off. We're about to hit our 1 year together. What a beautiful
yeah.
relationship we've had. As I say that, my wife texts me and I'm reminded that, I do have other priorities.
Mm,
But we started off, Brev. That's a great pivot point. Um, Talking about last offseason. Now, this might not be as an exciting as a beginning of an offseason, but dare I say, Brev, potentially an even more important offseason for the Vikings championship aspirations long term.
yeah, I think that'd be fair to say because like last year was Quasey's first true kind of reshaping of the team, and now this year is his first. Like, okay, here's a lot of money, go do something with it, and
Yeah.
we're gonna see what he does.
And that's not to downplay the moves we made last year, moving off Kirk and obviously drafting JJ McCarthy, but not sure if you guys knew this. JJ McCarthy did not play this year.
Mhm.
So all signs point to him coming back. We'll talk about that throughout this for reasons. But it's so great that you talked about money because that is our entire focus this episode. And it's going to be our focus for the next month. I think, if I'm not mistaken, free agency starts a month from today. Is it
It's
March
you.
12th?
It's always between like the 9th and 13th. Yeah.
So a month from now, maybe to the day. Also, knowing us, we might not publish this to the 13th. So who knows? But what Brev and I are going to do is our friends at Fox Sports, and I say our friends, they have no idea who we are, have
Well,
published kind of, maybe
mhm.
to an extent.
Yeah.
But they have published, as of today, a very useful list. I want to make sure I actually give credit where credit is due here. So let me scroll up through 30 paragraphs just to make sure I do that. This is from a number of people. All right, mainly Greg Almond. So I'm just going to credit him and three others. So thank you, three others, for helping us out with this. We're going to go through who they have ranked as the top 30 free agents. We're each going to take like 10, 15 seconds and say yes, no, or maybe as far as the Vikings signing them and give a quick reason why. So we'll start with number 30, an underrated potential position of need for the Vikings, wide receiver 3, Amari Cooper. Yes, no, maybe so.
Uh, I agree with underrated position of need. I'm gonna say no. I love Amari Cooper, but he might be washed. He wasn't really a threat in Buffalo.
I agree. No, I do think he might be washed, but I also think there will be some team out there desperate enough to give him a solid contract and a hell of a lot more snaps than a wide receiver 3.
Agree.
Levi Onwuzurike, if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, my sincerest apologies. Defensive tackle from the Lions, 27 years old, 2021 draft class, likely to be re-signed. What are your thoughts? Is that a defensive
Um,
tackle that sticks out to you? Yes or no?
yeah, defensive tackle sticks out to me, but not him specifically. Don't believe he. If I'm getting the right person, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too educated on him. Not exactly what I'd want for this Vikings team for out of a defensive tackle, and not to give too much of my defensive tackle thoughts on how you should address it. No.
Okay. Yeah, he's the main thing with him is he's a pass rushing DT. I think that would bring value, but I think our
Mhm.
pass rush in and of itself isn't the main issue. I think really run stopping in the middle would be. Um, I don't know if he resigns in Detroit, but I'd say maybe just on the fact like it depends on how the market plays out, but
Yes.
he'd be towards the bottom of my priority list. Number 28. We're already getting spicy. Mr. Movie, Mr. Danceaholic Cameron Bynum.
I'm not an automatic yes on him just because I'm scared of the amount of money. I feel like you could. Never mind. I won't go too deep into that. I don't want to take too much time. I would say yes, but scared.
I would say yes, depending on money, but I'm going to actually say maybe because there's another name on here
Hmm.
that I would debatably, and I think you know where I'm going. Uh, as I would love if we could have both of these guys. If Harrison Smith retires, I'm not sure exactly what true positions either of them really are. Cam Bynum was technically a corner when he was drafted.
Hmm.
Um, I love Cam Bynum. Like he brings so many good things to this team, production wise and energy wise. I'm between a yes and a maybe, but I'm going to say maybe simply on the fact I think there might be a slightly better option if Bynum prices himself out. Mekhi Becton from the Eagles. Definitely an emergent player this year. As this article says, a busted tackle in 4 years with the
Hmm.
Jets.
Yeah, shout out to Mackay. Shout out to Highland Springs, Virginia. My manager at the first Verizon store I worked for went to high school with Mackay. Great guy, apparently. So Mackay is kind of my best friend. Vikings need a guard. I would be okay with this. Yes.
I would say maybe simply for the fact that I do not see him leaving Philadelphia.
Yes.
I could see him taking a significant pay cut to stay in Philly because like for this man, he was a first round pick. He made a good amount of money. He'll probably still get, I mean, we're talking about millions of dollars either way.
Mhm.
He'll be fine, but I think what he was able to do and just seeing his reaction and the quotes after, I don't see him leaving. If he explores the market, I'm all in, but I say maybe just dependent on not having to outbid a team that he's obviously in love with.
Agree.
Talanoa, Hufanga, safety from the 49ers.
I'd, mm, yes. Again, I don't want to give a lot of money to uh, a safety, but man, he's good. So I would say maybe it's so hard not to say maybe. It depends how much Bynum's asking. Like, yes, I want him. No, let's not sign him.
I'd say no because injuries. Missed 7 games
Yeah.
last year and only played in 7 the year before. Had an ACL, a wrist, an ankle. When he's on the field, he's really fun, but I'm not investing. Like, I'd rather invest money in Bynum, who maybe doesn't have as high of a ceiling, but is pretty consistently healthy. He
Yep.
almost did knock himself out at the NFL honors. They did the backflip, the white chicks dance again, and it did not go quite as smoothly as it did in cleats for some reason. So I'm glad he survived that and did not injure himself significantly.
Good.
I think I know what both of us are going to say on this run. Drew Dalman, center for the Falcons.
No.
Reasoning?
Again, like I don't want to say it's depending on the contract of every single one of these. I don't think Garrett Bradbury is as bad. I don't think he's good, but I don't think he's as bad, and he's on an okay contract right now. Your O line went didn't go to hell, but it got worse when Darisaw went out. That's a huge loss. When he's in, the continuity's there. The O line is fine. No.
I'd say yes, because I think if you listen to KOC specifically, he was livid at the offensive line. I agree that I think getting 2 guards, whatever combination of how you achieve that, will do wonders for whoever is at center. But it's not. This was the fourth rated center last year for PFF. He missed a significant amount of time, I think about like half the season, which worries me. But at the end of the day, you don't often get a chance to sign the fourth best center in the league. And if we're serious about it and we have the money, and again, like the Vikings, I think are projected at like 76 million cap, but that's way before any restructures.
Mhm.
And if there's one thing we know about the Vikings front office, they love to move money around. So if you're going to get aggressive, this is a top talent for your interior.
Okay, question real quick. Are we doing this like straight up yes or no, you'd sign them? Because like I'm holding off on some guys being like, no, I don't want to do this because I want to sign this guy you're going to mention later.
I don't know. Just go with the moment. Who cares? You're
Okay,
being so
Then Dahlman, yes.
That's what
Because
I
I was like,
assumed.
I was holding out for like a Trey Smith big contract, and then a couple other guys would be like, I'd rather them do this. But okay, I'm in the moment
No,
now.
I'm
Here we
I'm
are.
I'm functioning off the assumption that we have unlimited money, and I'm looking at each of them unless they are conflicting positions in isolation. Like obviously with safety, we both hinted towards maybe another safety we would like, um, but I guess you can put every interior offensive lineman together. But I'd say
Yeah.
no. I'd like to look at individual positions. If you identify our goal is a guard, what guard? If you were saying, hey, I think center's the issue, what would we do there?
Okay. Drew Dolman, yes.
Okay. I don't even know if we should do this. Alaric Jackson, tackle for the Rams. Do we need a
No.
tackle?
No.
No. Yeah, that's pretty simple. Chase Young.
No.
No. I think that's pretty. I mean, look, Chase Young has a lot of raw talent. He's had inconsistent production, injuries, but like we're good. We don't need a true edge. We don't even use, in the traditional sense, true edges in this defense. And I think Grenard and Van Ginkel, Patrick Jones, if he comes back, is fine. Dallas Turner should have an increased year. Same reason with number 22, Greenlaw. Again, our edges and our linebackers to an extent are interchangeable. I say no.
Is it Dre Greenlaw?
Yes, I didn't know if there was another Greenlaw out there, but
I was just thinking about, I was making sure because I don't think he's like an edge. I think he's more of
like a
like the
middle
red
linebacker.
middle linebacker in a three
Yeah.
four. I would love to have him, but I don't know if it would make sense for us to sign him. And he's coming off that torn Achilles, so no.
Yeah, I mean, still at the same. Oh, wait, was that him who just got sniped by the air
He
in
was
the Super
running off
Bowl?
the field or running onto
Yeah,
the field in the Super
I
Bowl.
forgot that was. Yeah, no. But then again, like yes, obviously he plays a more traditional middle linebacker spot, but like depending on your thoughts on Ivan Pace, like I think we're fine. I don't think that's a position that's in. Do I think he's better than Ivan Pace? Yes. Do I think Ivan Pace is very good for the value? Also, yes.
Yeah, Dre Greenlaw is like maybe he's like you're overdoing signing a middle linebacker. You don't really need to go after a Dre Greenlaw.
Justin Reed.
Yeah, I'd be okay with signing him, especially if Harry retires.
He is probably the guy I would look to if Harry retires. I would say yes. I think that you have a difficult conversation between him and Bynum if the money's similar. Bynum's a year younger. I do think Reed probably has a bit more of an impressive resume.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say if the money's the same and vibes and locker room continuity are out of it, I would go with Reed over Bynum.
Me too.
Another edge, Hassan Reddick. I say
No,
no, not a need. Could be too much. This one gets spicy. Javon Holland, safety from the
no,
Dolphins.
no,
He was great under Brian Flores. For that reason, I say maybe simply for if you bring back Bynum or sign Reed and Harry retires and you want somebody who, you know, maybe you don't have a Theo Jackson situation. What just happened? Did I just black out for you?
no. I still see you, but you look darker.
That was
Oh,
interesting. My whole computer just wigged out. We love technology. I don't even know what happened. I haven't turned
it's
on my
fine.
computer in like weeks and it just totally wigged out. Javon Holland, I say maybe. Interesting wide receiver three thought. Stephon Diggs.
I wrote an article about this recently
I
on
am
the
aware.
PTSD. No. Let me get that straight. No, but man, that would be fun.
Simply for the fun and for like what leverage does he have for a contract? At age 31, off a torn ACL, being known as a locker room destroyer.
Hmm.
Maybe? I mean, I don't think look, he throws shade at Minnesota all the time, but none of those people are there anymore except the Wilfs, which I don't think he has a problem with the Wilfs. They weren't picking the
Yep.
offensive scheme. Um, I'd say maybe. I mean, it would be so fun. I have to say maybe. It's a long shot that in any way this would work out, but
It probably
maybe
wouldn't,
for the
but
vibes.
that'd be awesome.
We're gonna have this conversation more than once. Aaron Rodgers.
No, please don't elaborate. Just say no and let's go.
No. Only thing I'll elaborate is JJ McCarthy is way too into meditation to put
Mhm.
ayahuasca darkness retreat man on our team.
I agree. Thank you.
I do
They're
not
trying.
want to lose him in Buenos Aires or something. All right,
Actually,
now we're. Wait, what?
actually, it sounds kind of cool being lost in Buenos Aires. Buenos
Uh,
Aires. Buenos Aires.
okay. Well, before you get in trouble and get us demonetized again, DJ Reed.
We can't get remonetized till April. DJ Reed, yeah.
I say yes. I well, yes in a vacuum. I'm going back on my own rules. Outside of a
Hmm.
vacuum, maybe. I want to make that very clear
Well, wait, what's the
because
vacuum?
the vacuum is I don't think corner is as important of a position to this defense as many say.
Oh yeah, if you're taking in, yeah, I understand what you're saying.
It's hard for me unless everything else falls into place miraculously. I it's hard for me to pay big money for a corner in a defense that intentionally has them playing off the receiver a decent amount of the time.
Yeah, and Kwesi's made it kind of clear. I don't think he sees corner as a super premium position.
Yeah. I would say we draft a corner in the mid rounds like we did last year to try to find someone that was going to be what Kyrie Jackson was intended to fill in the role. I think that we stick with that and run that back this year.
Benjamin Morrison in the first round.
You would take a corner in the. Oh, we're going to talk about that too. That is like the one of the last positions I draft first round. But we got plenty of time to talk about the draft, baby. Oh, I love
Buenos
the
Aires.
offseason.
Bueno.
I hate the offseason because I don't have football.
Yeah, it's tough.
But I love the offseason because it's just straight. You can say anything.
Takes. Yeah, you can say that the trade for the third overall pick is done, and people will be like, hmm.
Well, also you can look back and say it probably was until Robert Kraft stepped in, made a panic decision to try to find a franchise quarterback. Clearly, his relationship with his head coach never recovered because the head coach wanted to prioritize defense, and the head coach was fired after the first year, and maybe that's all connected. Maybe you could say that. Russell Wilson,
No.
no. Another Steeler.
No.
This was a discussion on Vikings Twitter today. You're not on there anymore, but I made my opinion very clear.
No,
Um,
no, not Najee Harris. Please don't say Najee Harris.
oh, you're still aware this was a conversation.
No, I'm not. I just please don't say Najee Harris.
Well, boy,
I,
golly, wouldn't you know it, Najee Harris?
I knew
Absolutely
he was
no.
yeah, I knew he was a free agent, and I was thinking of all the Steelers free agents. Like that was the only one I came up with. There's no way that they have them that him that high of a like ranked
14th.
free agent. That's crazy.
Yeah,
No, 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 don't. If you think it's a good idea, seek professional help.
I agree. I would much rather, and I'll strong foreshadow, with the first pick in the draft for the Vikings, whether it's in the 24, they trade back in the first, or they move into the second, I am fully on board with drafting a running back to pair with a 1 year signed Aaron Jones to inherit the team and have fresh legs and a cheap contract in the backfield behind a veteran O line to pair with JJ McCarthy. I think everyone says you build the trenches through the draft. I agree. That would have been great. The Vikings are in a 3 to 4 year window, and we'll talk more about this, but I have to get it off my chest. Like everybody's contracts are about 4 years left.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin O'Connell's was rumored to be 5. McCarthy has 4 years after this, given the injury. Uh, Jefferson, I think, ends in 28, 29. You can't afford to wait for offensive linemen to get up to weight in NFL speed. Sign veterans, get a rookie running back, higher upside to a rookie running back than a rookie guard or center.
That's crazy to think everybody has 4 years left on their contract. Minnesota Vikings, please listen to me. Kwesi Adefo Rick Brzezinski, Will family. You can get out of the TJ Hawkinson contract right now. It's a possibility to do right now. Who's the next one?
Ronnie Stanley, tackle, not a position of need.
Nope.
I also can't hear you anymore. Whatever you did to your mic, you are completely screwed yourself.
How about now?
You are quieter than you were before, but not as quiet as you were 10 seconds ago. Congratulations.
Far left that care about TJ Hawkinson trying to silence me.
You sound better now.
There we go.
All right. I'm going to butcher this guy's name, and I apologize in advance. I don't watch a lot of Cowboys games. Osa Odeazua, defensive tackle Cowboys.
No. I don't have any reason why. I just,
No, because I like the next name more. Not
yeah,
listed as a true DT, but Milton Williams.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
100%.
Last name Williams, DT. Go ahead. What do
Trying
you
to think
think?
of what the new Wall of America would be, and I'm like Turner, Grenard, Van Ginkel, Williams is still not technically the Wall as it once was, but that does not work whatsoever. Shavarius Ward,
Yeah, on a 1 year deal, I would.
maybe he is, and it's important to mention this. He is very clear that he is not re-signing with the Niners, not because he hates the Niners. For anyone not aware, he did lose his 1 year old daughter, um, and has shared that being in that area is just absolute. I couldn't imagine that. Those of you who watch know I have a 2 year old son, or year and a half year old son, soon to be two, and a daughter on the way. I don't blame him for wanting to get out of there. So that's one of those situations where he has no problem with the team that I'm aware of, but just wants to get out. So I hope wherever he does go, if it's with us, if it's with someone else, heck, even if it's with a rival, I wish him and his family nothing but the best because that sounds like literal hell. So
Very true.
wish him the best. All right. Josh Sweat.
The name, like I would, sounds good, but no.
Yeah, I mean, he's an edge, but he's listed as a linebacker. Again, he just is too similar to what we already have at cheaper prices.
Yep,
And
agree.
it's hard to argue with the production. Byron Murphy Jr., not the rookie,
They
shockingly.
have they have him ranked this high.
He's number 8. Byron Murphy had a great year. Remember, I think at one point, I don't know if he ended this way, he led the NFL in interception. He did lead the NFL in takeaways. Yep. No, maybe he didn't. Sorry, I'm misreading this. The
He's
defense
up
did,
there.
but he
Yeah.
was leading it for a hot minute. I'm not sure how he ended, but he had 6 picks.
Or is that a bad thing because he gets thrown at a lot?
Were you on Twitter still for the argument that Byron Murphy had a lot of interceptions because oh, what was it? That he just, quote, happened to luck into them and be in the right place at the right time. And people had to explain that's kind of your job is to be in the
Yeah.
right place at the right time.
Yeah, that's a really dumb argument. The argument that he gets thrown at a lot, which was kind of true, was way better.
Yeah.
I would still yeah, I want to resign him.
I want to resign him also. Yeah, I'm a yes. It reminds me of that article where it's like ranking the dumbest NFL fans and the Vikings were number one, but people forgot the context. It was a betting website. So it was based off stupidest bets because a
I
betting website
also
is no way to check IQ. But then I hear things like he just happens to be in the right place at the right time. And I think, you know what? Sometimes, at least for a small portion of the fan base, maybe there's some truth to that.
I think it's a big portion.
Well, I mean, you can't talk shit and not be on Twitter anymore backing it up. It's the off season. Come back. You you you
Okay.
misreported one franchise
Okay.
altering trade up
That
to
was
number
like
3,
months
and
before I
then
did it.
you just then you go quiet for a
That was
few
months
months and
before.
disappear. It's okay, Brev. We've
No,
forgiven you.
I
People are asking me
announced
where you are.
I'm right here on the Skolcial network, and if they want to see me, they can watch us and give us views. So if you love me, give me views. I announced my college football 25 dynasty team and got 2 likes,
That's really what did it for you, huh?
and I was gone.
I'm gonna send you a TikTok. This guy's been documenting every game of his freshman year in Road to Glory and his rise to the NFL, and it is not going well in the NFL. Although he won a Natty and a Heisman at Colorado after transferring 3 times, I've been
Go
paying way too
Dogs.
much attention to this guy's Crocus is his name, his running back story. Now he just added a brother who's a cornerback at Toledo right now or Ohio. So
Whole
if I
family.
if I want to be honest, I am a terminally online human being. Nick Bolton from the Chiefs.
Uh, find out how to send me that because I'm not on TikTok either. Nick Bolton from the Chiefs. Yes, he's
Just download
basically
the
just
app.
like way better Ivan Pace.
Yeah, but he's going to be more expensive.
Good.
Yeah, sure, maybe. Khalil Mack, no for me.
No. Dang,
Old.
geez. Khalil Mack in 2025 at what is that, 6?
Yeah.
He's still good, but dang.
Zach Bond, maybe if he's willing to leave.
You'd have to give him a bag, and he ain't leaving.
Chris Godwin.
I love Chris Godwin, but no.
How tall is Chris Godwin?
6'1", 6'2". Might be six even, actually.
Yeah, he doesn't solve it. And I know I pushed Stephon Diggs' agenda strictly for the fun. Um, Outside of Diggs, just because the storyline is too funny and I want to take his jersey out of the box of shame, I really do.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not signing a wide receiver three that's not. I'm just riding with Naylor, unfortunately, unless I can get a somebody
Ugh.
who's a true go up and get it red zone threat, and that could be through the draft.
Hmm.
Like our wide receiver room, I think averages like 6'1", 6'2". If you can get somebody who's a little taller or at least has like, I know we use the term moss loosely, and Jefferson has had those moss moments, but I mean somebody who can consistently go up and box someone out and go and get a ball. I think that would help in the red zone.
Yeah.
Godwin doesn't fit that mold. I
Thought that
forgot
the
how
tight
tall he
end could do
was.
that.
You mean the only person to score a touchdown in the Vikings postseason game?
Oh, good. We were down 20.
Speaking of that, number three ranked free agent. Who do you think it is? Speaking of one touchdown in the postseason for the Vikings, this is
Oh, yeah.
bonkers.
Sam Darnold's number three.
Unequivocally, absolutely, 100%, undeniably, no.
Yes. Oh, right. May maybe? Yes?
The rose tinted glasses have not been fully removed.
We
Brev
need
is
we
still
need
open to this idea.
we no, but we need something to talk about for the next month.
Oh, possibly. I guess we'll
Maybe.
see. I
Yeah.
mean, this is look. We are. Anyone who's watched us, all 12 of you who've been loyal, and we appreciate you endlessly. Know that this is a JJ McCarthy stand show, and although after the Seattle and Green Bay games, we actually even before that we had drank the Darnold juice. I'm never gonna say that again in my life.
We got mono.
Yeah, we contracted mononucleosis from
Mhm.
the explosion of Darnold.
Mm.
We will be fully supporting JJ McCarthy, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, how did you not fall for Sam Darnold after those games? I mean,
I
he
mean, look,
tried to
he does.
sell.
Look, he did. I don't want to take away from what he did. He had an incredible season. The combination of you could blame the line, you can blame Sam. Sam can't overcome that line, and the line didn't help Sam. Whatever you want to say, but Sam also looked like a deer in the headlights, and there were multiple plays in the all 22 where he had a looked at a guy wide open for a touchdown, and just chose not to throw it. For that reason, I cannot regardless of how good his stats were. Or is, you think JJ McCarthy's going to throw 35 touchdowns? Probably not. But if you can make the whole team better, we could maybe get some rushing touchdowns and maybe actually have a more full team. So, no,
How long ago did I say Sam Darnold's such a stealer?
it's been a while, but I agree. I think Steeler or Raider, I think Pete Carroll would salivate to have him.
Russ needs to go to Vegas.
I think I know the answer to this. Number two available free agent. I am without a doubt a yes on Trey Smith
Yeah,
for obvious reasons.
well, there for
Um,
this.
if you have to reset the market like you did with Steve Hutchinson, you do it.
Yes,
Trey Smith is he play on the left or the right side?
right.
Right, I thought. Brian O'Neill has started to show slight cracks, and I think a lot of that is not his fault. I think it's because of the pressure getting to the interior, and he's
Hmm.
trying to do too much. I think this helps him a ton. And I think you could get another guard or have a competition. Hey, friend of the show, friend of the network, Walter Rouse is rumored to be trying out at guard and moving there. I think you can get a somebody to fill in at guard, maybe draft another guard or a center for competition and try to really see what happens there. But I think if you look at your offensive line, you say you have Christian Darrisaw, Brian O'Neill, and Trey Smith, you're cooking with fire, and you have an anchor in that interior.
Maybe we give other friend of the network and show kind of Brian McKinney a call, see what he's doing.
Just get him and Hutch out there.
Yeah,
See what, yeah.
run it back.
I mean, Ed Ingram's employed. Happy birthday, Ed. It was
Yeah.
yesterday, according. But Anyways,
Right.
number one,
Who is number one?
T. Higgins. No need. Absolutely
Oh,
unnecessary. There's no.
yeah. I mean, yes, but no.
I mean, that would be again in an absolute vacuum of if the Minnesota Vikings could spend like my beloved Los Angeles Dodgers, who I do get to see Shohei Ohtani play baseball next Thursday. I took the day off work to go to spring training. No big deal. Very excited. I do know what a championship trophy looks like, shockingly.
Yeah.
Um, if it was a situation where you could just pay unlimited money and defer, then hell yes, that'd be incredibly funny. However, I think it would lead Jordan Addison into a mental breakdown. One other factor with the Diggs thing, we keep forgetting we're going to be likely without Addison for like a quarter of the year. So I do think wide receiver three, as we'll talk about this year, is a bigger need again than most people realize. And then you add that in, you don't just want to throw away um, who's going to be. We'll talk about that. I'm sure there's so much to talk about. It's so exciting. I love
Reckless
the offseason.
speculation. Would you trade Jordan Addison for 2 second-round picks slash to the highest bidder?
Okay, Judd. No, I would
Wha-
trade him straight up. I would trade him for a first and a sixth.
Okay. First
I'd
and a
want a
sixth
first.
while giving T. Higgins 30 million a year. I
No,
think that would probably be really stupid, but it sounds fun.
no. I would. I mean, we'll talk about this because here's the thing: is how do I put this? From a football perspective, Addison's off the field troubles are awful, but I don't think they are enough to make you want to get rid of that production and contract so easily. Just from, I mean, just like I'm not endorsing what he did. Nothing makes me more mad than DUIs. We talked about that when he got arrested after what happened with Kyrie. It's like, trust me, but from a pure like team building perspective that you have to look at, his contract and production may be worth taking that on the chin. His parents on Twitter add another wrinkle in, um, talking about Kevin getting out coached and this and that, and Justin looking mad when Addison was wide receiver one in 2023 for a few games. Like, when you add that in, you add that narrative, I'm like, you know what? If you get an offer, maybe you look at it. And I love Jordan Addison as a player. I've been a big Jordan Addison agenda pusher for a while, but I'd say you'd have to look at it. You'd have to consider it.
Yeah, I'd do the trade in a heartbeat. I'd pull the trigger.
Yeah. But I would not want it to rely on me having to like spend big money on
Oh
a
yeah.
replacement. I don't even think the wide receiver class this year is particularly noteworthy compared to the last few years where it's been stacked. Um, so I don't know exactly what you do.
I think it would be good if last year's receivers class didn't like we're still like coming off that receiver class. This would be a pretty decent one. But
I think it's just in comparison.
Is
Yeah,
Luther Burden staying at Mizzou? I feel like I heard that.
I think he was. All I know is who's the guy in Oregon who is smaller than me. Um, oh crap. His Senior Bowl measurements, he was like 5'8" and like a buck 60.
Which means he's probably gonna be electric.
Yeah, he went off too. We'll talk more about draft prospects. If you guys can't tell, like, look, there's nothing I love more as far as like a hobby than watching the Vikings torture my soul every Sunday and occasionally a Thursday or Monday. But the off season, this is going to be a fun off season. We have a lot to talk about. Brev, we have like 2 minutes left until our free Zoom kicks us out. Out of everyone we talked about, who would you say should be the top priority realistically for the Vikings?
I try to think outside the box, but I just have to go with Trey Smith.
Damn it, I hate you. I mean, that's the obvious answer, and I agree 1,000,000%. Trey Smith is an absolute game changer. So I agree with you, but just to say something different, I would say Milton Williams would be a huge upgrade in that defensive interior.
Also underrated, I think Nick Bolton would be electric.
I just, I agree, but like,
There's not really a need for him, but like
I'm just saying, if we're gonna try to prioritize, my biggest thing is protecting JJ McCarthy, And I think if you sign somebody like Trey Smith, you can afford to address guard or even center, maybe more towards, and I know we're limited in draft picks, but more towards the middle picks, and maybe take somebody like a running back like a Caleb Johnson or Marion Hampton or with one of your earlier picks.
Oh, Marion.
I said that. I said
I
O'Marion. Or is
know.
that?
I'm
Oh, that's
saying
just who you
just
like over Caleb
I'm not
Johnson.
I'm not doubting you.
Is that just your pick out of the
I
running
would
backs
never
that
do
are?
that to you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
What if?
Marion.
Okay, since we have 2 minutes, we actually have 2 minutes now. If that Addison trade nets you, hey, screw wide receiver two, let's just figure that out. But you can now get Gene T. That would be hilarious.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy.
We will also be talking about our boy Quasey because shockingly, a lot of discourse around the fact he has not gotten an official contract extension. We'll be talking about that as we go on, but we're glad to be back. Thank you guys. I know the off season is, if you guys are like us, which judging from every football channel's numbers ever, you consume more football content in the off season because there's more to talk about. Don't really want to hear a refresher of a game you already watched. Uh, if you're new here, we're excited to have you follow and subscribe to Vikes now. We have a lot of cool stuff coming, and even the Skolcial Network might have some pretty cool guests lined up over the next uh, couple months, really leading up to the draft and free agency.
So true. I don't know
All
who they are,
right.
but so true.
You know, a couple of them potentially,
So
but
true. Just kidding.
anyways, we will see you guys soon. Skull Vikes. Hey, technically speaking, JJ McCarthy has a better overall loss percentage in the Super Bowl than Patrick Mahomes.
So true. Also, Kenny Pickett and JJ McCarthy have more combined snaps in the Super Bowl than Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, and a lot of other quarterbacks.
You don't even need to add Mahomes in there. Just Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, just Kenny Pickett and JJ McCarthy. That's it.
We will see you guys soon. Skull Vikes.